Welcome back, Wrestling WWE fans, to a night that set the WWE Universe on fire. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, stormed back to SmackDown with a vengeance that shook the arena to its core, his eyes blazing with a fury we haven't seen in years. But it's the backstage encounter that's got everyone talking, a meeting so raw, so emotional, it's rewritten the narrative of his return and left us all breathless. The moment his music hit, the crowd erupted, a tidal wave of cheers drowning out months of absence. Roman didn't just walk out, he marched, every step a declaration of war against those who'd betrayed him. This wasn't just a comeback, it was Joe Anoa'i reclaiming his throne, fueled by pain, loss, and a fire that refused to be extinguished. Rewind to the months before. Roman had vanished from WWE, his health crisis a tightly guarded secret. Whispers of a leukemia relapse, tied to his 2018 battle, haunted social media. Fans noticed his gaunt frame in rare public sightings, sparking fear that the head of the table was fighting a battle bigger than any in the ring. His silence only deepened the mystery. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Alright, we're halfway through, and things are about to take a serious turn. If you thought you knew where this was going, think again, this is where the real drama unfolds. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. Backstage, the dynamics were a storm. The Bloodline, his once unbreakable family, had crumbled under Solo Sikoa's ambition. Solo's betrayal, seizing control in Roman's absence, cut deeper than any scripted heel turn. Insiders say the cousins clashed off camera, their real-life bond strained by power struggles and unspoken resentments, a family breakdown that mirrored their on-screen chaos. Grief defined Roman's absence. The loss of his brother Rosie years ago still lingered, and now the fracture of the bloodline felt like another death. Fans felt it too, their ex-posts filled with tributes to the tribal chief's reign, fearing his return might never come. The weight of his legacy, his family's pride, pressed heavy on a man already battling his body's limits. The scandal broke when leaks revealed WWE's role in Roman's absence. Allegedly, management urged him to step away quietly, citing brand optics, while downplaying his health struggles. The decision, meant to protect his image, sparked outrage when fans learned he'd been sidelined against his will, a betrayal by the company he'd carried through a pandemic. Then came the return. The arena shook as Roman speared Solo through a barricade, his vengeance a cathartic release for every fan who'd waited. But it was backstage where the real story unfolded. Roman, sweat-soaked and shaking, came face to face with Seth Rollins, his former Shield brother, his eternal rival, the man he hadn't spoken to in years. Their meeting wasn't planned. Seth, nursing his own injuries from a recent Judgment Day attack, was in the trainer's room when Roman stormed in. The air crackled, old wounds reopening, betrayals from the Shield's breakup, years of rivalry, and unspoken grief for their lost brotherhood. Witnesses say they stood in silence, eyes locked, before Seth broke it with a single word, "Welcome." The emotional weight was crushing. Seth and Roman, once closer than brothers, had built WWE's modern era together, only to tear it apart. Their real-life falling out, fueled by egos and injuries, made this moment seismic. Insiders claimed Seth reached out during Roman's health scare, only to be met with silence, yet here, in this raw encounter, something shifted. Health crises defined Roman's journey. Beyond leukemia fears, sources say he'd battled chronic fatigue, his body worn from years of main events. He'd confided in Paul Heyman about sleepless nights, the pressure of being the tribal chief eating at his soul. His return wasn't just defiance, it was survival, a man refusing to let his story end. Backstage dynamics were electric. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, watched Roman's return from opposite ends of the locker room, their own rift unhealed. Jimmy's loyalty to Roman clashed with Jay's independence, a family breakdown that hurt as much as any physical blow. Roman tried to bridge the gap, but their cold nods spoke of wounds still fresh. The scandal deepened with reports of WWE's mishandling. Allegedly, medical staff flagged Roman's condition months ago, but executives pushed for his return to counter AEW's rising stars. Fans on X raged, their hashtag acknowledge him hashtag turning to hashtag protect Roman, demanding accountability for a star who'd given everything. Grief wasn't just Roman's, it was the roster's. Becky Lynch, Seth's wife, was seen wiping tears as she watched Roman's entrance, knowing the toll his battles took. Her own history with Roman, from rivalries to respect, made his return a bittersweet reminder of wrestling's brutal cost. The locker room felt it, a shared fear of losing another icon. The backstage encounter with Seth was a turning point. Witnesses say they didn't embrace, but their handshake lingered, heavy with unspoken apologies. Seth, who'd faced his own health scares, understood Roman's fight in a way few could. It wasn't reconciliation, but it was a start, a flicker of the Shield's old fire. Fans felt every second. Clips of Roman's return racked up millions of views, but it was grainy fan footage of his Seth meeting that broke the internet. Comments flooded with, "Shield forever," fans yearning for a brotherhood reborn. Roman wasn't just the tribal chief, he was Joe, a man fighting for his family, his legacy, his life. Death's specter hovered, not literally but in the fear of what Roman's health crisis meant. His leukemia battle had shown his mortality, and this return felt like a defiance of fate. Fans recalled Bray Wyatt, taken too soon, and poured out love for Roman, their chants a prayer to keep him standing. The locker room buzzed with tension and hope. Younger stars like Braun Breaker approached Roman, seeking guidance, while veterans like Randy Orton nodded in respect, knowing the cost of his comeback. The dynamics shifted. Roman's return wasn't just a storyline, it was a rallying cry for a roster battered by betrayal. Scandals' fallout forced tough questions. Triple H, caught in the leak's crosshairs, addressed the roster, his voice heavy with regret. He vowed to prioritize wrestler health, but trust was fragile. Wrestlers like Liv Morgan spoke out, her post supporting Roman igniting a fan movement for change. Betrayal wasn't just WWE's, it was personal. Solo's power grab wasn't all storyline. Sources say he'd grown resentful of Roman's shadow, their real-life tensions bleeding into the ring. The Bloodline's collapse mirrored family fights we all know, where pride and ambition tear at love. The emotional core was Roman and Seth's moment. Their history, Shield glory, bitter betrayals, shared scars, made their silence louder than any promo. Fans saw themselves in that handshake, in the struggle to rebuild what's broken. It wasn't just wrestling, it was human, raw, and real. Grief for lost connections lingered. Roman's return was triumphant, but the cost was clear: his health, his family, his trust in WWE. Yet his vengeance, his refusal to bow, inspired fans to cheer louder, to believe in second chances, to fight their own battles with his fire. The WWE Universe carried the moment forward. Arenas chanted, "Roman, Roman," not just for the tribal chief, but for Joe, the man who'd faced death and returned stronger. Social media overflowed with fan art, tributes to his resilience, a reminder that wrestling's magic is its heart. This return wasn't just a comeback, it was a rebirth. Roman's vengeance, his backstage clash with Seth, showed us the power of fighting through pain, of facing betrayal with courage. It's a story of family, of loss, of refusing to let the darkness win. In the end, it's about love, the kind that survives grief, the kind that rebuilds after betrayal, the kind that defines a legacy. Roman Reigns reminded us why we watch, for the warriors who rise, for the bonds that endure, for the stories that mirror our own. Thank you, WWE fans, for living this moment with us. Keep cheering, keep believing, because in this ring of life, it's the heart we pour in that makes us unstoppable. Acknowledge the fight, and let's see where Roman's vengeance takes us next.